Commander Zethkri clicked his mandibles in what passed for laughter among the Vorthak. The holographic display showed the third planet of Sol system, a blue marble spinning lazily in space, completely unaware of the armada surrounding it. "Look at them," he chittered to his bridge crew. "Soft-skinned, weak-boned creatures who die from the slightest temperature change. Their bones break from simple falls. They require constant hydration and nutrition. How did such fragile beings ever reach the stars?" The tactical officer, Lieutenant Kextal, pulled up biological data on the main screen. "Their life expectancy is laughably short, Commander. Even their longest-lived barely reach a century. Compare that to our millennium lifespans." And yet, Zethkri mused, studying the scrolling data, they somehow built a civilization that spans multiple star systems. How peculiar. He dismissed the thought with a wave of his armored appendage. No matter. Their fragility will make the conquest swift. Begin the bombardment of their military installations. The first wave of plasma strikes lit up Earth's night sky like deadly aurora. The Vorthak fleet, numbering in the thousands, had expected immediate surrender. What they received instead puzzled them. "Commander," Communications Officer Yithron reported, "we're receiving responses from the planet's surface. It appears to be defiance." On screens across the fleet, human faces appeared. Young and old, speaking in dozens of languages but sharing the same unwavering resolve. Children held signs while adults spoke calmly into cameras. Families stood together in shelters, not cowering but singing. "Impossible," Zethkri muttered. "They know they cannot win. Their ships are inferior, their weapons primitive. Why do they not surrender?" 3 days into the siege, the first reports from the ground assault teams arrived. Captain Vexthor's voice crackled through the communication system, strain evident even through the translation matrix. "Commander, we have a problem. The humans, they fight differently than expected." "Explain," Zethkri demanded. "They don't fight to preserve themselves, sir. They fight to preserve each other. We took a military base expecting resistance from soldiers. Instead, we found civilians, medical personnel, teachers, engineers who had refused evacuation. They fought us with improvised weapons while evacuating wounded soldiers. One of their medics, a female no larger than our juveniles, held off 3 of our warriors with nothing but a plasma cutter from their medical bay. She died, but not before 17 wounded humans escaped." Zethkri's mandibles clicked uncertainly. Surely this is an isolated incident. More reports flooded in. Humans using their own bodies as shields to protect others. Parents carrying multiple children through war zones. Teenagers donating blood until they collapsed. Teachers staying with students in bombed schools. Doctors working without sleep in makeshift hospitals. In orbit, the Vorthak intercepts revealed something that challenged everything they understood about warfare and survival. "Sir," Yithron said quietly, "you need to hear this transmission from their emergency networks." A voice spoke in accented English. "Mumbai Shelter 7 to all stations. We have space for 200 more. Medical bay operational. Repeat, we have space." Another voice. "Tokyo Underground confirms receipt of refugee convoy. Children safe. Adults redistributing to forward positions. New York Medical to all units. We've developed a new treatment for plasma burns. Transmitting data now to all hospitals globally." The pattern was unmistakable. Where the Vorthak had expected panic, they found coordination. Where they had expected self-preservation, they found sacrifice. Where they had expected their superior biology to dominate, they found something their species had never developed: the willingness to be individually fragile for the sake of collective strength. Lieutenant Kextal approached his commander with new intelligence data. "Sir, we've analyzed their casualty reports. For every human killed, 7 others work harder. Their productivity isn't decreasing, it's increasing. Their fragility isn't making them weaker. It's making them more what?" Zethkri snapped. "More connected, sir. Each death doesn't break their will. It strengthens their resolve to protect those still living." The turning point came on the 7th day. Human ships, inferior in every measurable way, began employing tactics the Vorthak had never encountered. Instead of preserving their vessels, human pilots flew suicide runs to protect evacuation ships. Instead of saving ammunition, they expended everything to create corridors of safety for fleeing civilians. "Captain Sarah," Chen's voice echoed across all frequencies as her crippled destroyer rammed into the Vorthak flagship's engine section. "For everyone we couldn't save, and everyone we still can, The explosion crippled the command vessel, but more than that, it sent a message that resonated through both fleets. In his damaged command center, Zethakri finally understood what he was fighting. These humans weren't weak because they were fragile. They were strong because they knew they were fragile, and that knowledge made them fierce protectors of each other. He watched his tactical display as human ships, outnumbered 10-1, continued their desperate defense of evacuation routes. Every maneuver prioritized civilian ships over military advantage. Every sacrifice bought time for others to escape. "Commander," Kextal said quietly, "perhaps we misunderstood the nature of strength." Zethkri studied the display showing Earth's surface, where millions of humans worked together with mechanical precision, born of shared purpose. Their individual fragility had created collective resilience that his superior species had never developed. Where the Vorthak fought for conquest and dominance, humans fought for each other. "Signal the fleet," he commanded finally. "We're withdrawing, sir," Kextal asked in surprise. Zethkri clicked his mandibles, but not in laughter this time. "We came here believing that biological superiority guaranteed victory. But we failed to understand that strength isn't about the individual. It's about what the individual is willing to do for others." He paused, watching another human ship sacrifice itself to save a hospital vessel. "These humans aren't fragile. They're the strongest species we've ever encountered, precisely because they know how fragile life truly is." As the Vorthak fleet departed Sol system, they left behind something unexpected: respect. They had come to conquer what they saw as weakness, only to discover that humanity's greatest strength lay not in individual resilience, but in their collective refusal to let each other face the darkness alone. In their final report to the Vorthak High Command, Zethkri wrote, "Recommend immediate cessation of all hostile activities against species designation human. Their fragility is not a weakness to be exploited, but a source of strength we cannot comprehend, much less defeat." The universe had learned a new lesson. Sometimes the strongest armor isn't the one that protects you. It's the willingness to remove your own armor to protect others.